Well, now we can add this from NBC News. Current and former law enforcement officials tell NBC News that when it comes to these campaign finance felonies to which Michael Cohen has already pled guilty, if it were not for Donald Trump being the president of the United States right now, current and former law enforcement officials tell NBC News that Donald Trump almost certainly would have been indicted himself in this matter. Check this out. This is almost unbelievable. Quote, "The Federal Bureau of Investigation is conducting a criminal investigation of a Florida company accused of scamming millions of dollars from customers during the period that Matthew Whitaker, acting U.S. Attorney General, served as a paid advisory board member." According to an email sent to an alleged victim last year by an FBI victim specialist, the investigation is being handled by the Miami office of the FBI and by the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. Quote, "A recording on a phone line set up by the Justice Department to help victims of the scam remains active." Quote, "The FTC's action against the company that resulted in the company shutting down was a civil proceeding. The existence of a continuing FBI investigation suggests that authorities are also looking into potential criminal charges." Think about this for a second. The guy has been installed by President Trump, on President Trump's say-so alone, to go run the entire Justice Department, which includes, of course, the FBI. The FBI is criminally investigating a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme that he appears to have been a big part of. Huh? It's all happening. The reporter who just broke this rather incredible story joins us next. We are covering this breaking news tonight that the president appears to have put someone in charge of the Justice Department who is part of a multi-million-dollar fraud scheme. A fraud scheme that is now the subject of an FBI criminal investigation. The acting attorney general apparently wasn't just adjacent to this company either. This wasn't some affiliation at a distance. Part of this company's scam, according to the Federal Trade Commission, when they shut down this company, wasn't just that the company took people's money. They took their clients' money and didn't do anything in exchange for that money. According to the FTC, the other part of their scam was when their customers started to complain about having been defrauded, about having had all their money taken for nothing, about having been scammed, this company that Whitaker was part of, World Patent Marketing, would then threaten their customers. This is from the FTC complaint, page 10, about the blunt nature of some of the company's threats to its disgruntled customers. Quote, "Defendants also cultivate a threatening atmosphere through emails to would-be complainants. For example, defendants distributed to their existing customers a blog post discussing an incident that purportedly occurred in defendants' offices. A consumer who allegedly wanted to speak with the head of the company about an invention idea was stopped, detained, and expelled by defendants' quote, intimidating security team. All ex-Israeli special ops and trained in Krav Maga, one of the most deadly of the martial arts." They're sending this out to their customers. The post continued, quote, "The World Patent Marketing security team are the kinds of guys who are trained to knock out first and ask questions later." This is part of why this outfit was sued by the FTC and shut down. These threats to their customers. Some of their threats were that their security team would come beat you up if you complained or show up at the offices. The other way they threatened people was by having people affiliated with the company, like acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker, who was on their board. They'd have people like Matt Whitaker write threatening emails to customers who might be willing to complain about having been defrauded by the firm, including one letter sent by Matt Whitaker in which he cited his status as a former U.S. attorney and then threatened the disgruntled customer with, quote, "serious civil and criminal consequences" if he dared to complain. We have asked the Justice Department tonight if Matt Whitaker has been advised by the FBI as to whether or not he personally is a target or subject of the FBI's criminal investigation in this matter. We did not get an answer from the Justice Department on that question in time for us to air it tonight. If they tell us, we will tell you. We have also asked the Justice Department tonight if Acting Attorney General Whitaker is recused from overseeing this matter at the FBI, given that it seems like it might kind of be about him. The Washington Post further reports tonight that as part of the FTC case against the company, Whitaker himself was sent a subpoena demanding all of his documents and records regarding the company. Whitaker appears to have ignored the subpoena. The Wall Street Journal further reports that other board members from this company forfeited the money that they were paid by the company when the company got shut down and fined by the FTC. Mr. Whitaker, though, apparently received a demand notice from a court-appointed receiver who was set up to oversee the settlement between the FTC and this company. He received a demand notice asking him, too, to forfeit the money he had been paid by this fraudulent scheme. He apparently ignored that demand letter and just kept the money. And now he's running the Justice Department, including the FBI. Is that okay? I mean, within the Justice Department, does somebody squawk about this? I mean, if the FBI wants to arrest him in this criminal probe, does he have to sign off on his own arrest? You ever had a CD and it had a scratch and you'd play it and it would then just stick those same 2 seconds over and over again in a loop? This is the President Trump version of that.
Matt Whitaker, I don't know Matt Whitaker. Matt Whitaker worked for Jeff Sessions. I didn't know Matt Whitaker. He worked for Attorney General Sessions. You didn't have any problems with Matt Whitaker when he worked for Jeff Sessions. I didn't speak to Matt Whitaker about it. I don't know Matt Whitaker. Again, he worked for Jeff Sessions. Now, in all fairness to Matt Whitaker, who, again, I didn't know, okay?
Matt? Who is this Matt you keep talking about? I don't know a Matt. I've never spoken to a Matt. I don't even have a doormat. I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've met a Matt ever. I don't know. This is a thing the president does, right? When he says a thing that is not true, he doesn't just say it once. He likes to say it a lot over and over and over again. It's one of his tells. The more times he says a thing, the less true it tends to be. It's sort of a good shortcut way to fact-check the president. There's also another way.
I can tell you he's a great guy. I mean, I know Matt Whitaker.
I know Matt Whitaker. Look at the date on that. That was 29 days ago. I mean, I have stuff in my fridge older than the president's recollection of his own new attorney general. I mean, the glass half full version of this story is great. The president has admitted he knows the person he picked to lead the U.S. Justice Department. But the glass half empty version is, what's going on with the president right now?
I don't know Matt Whitaker. I didn't know Matt Whitaker. I didn't speak to Matt Whitaker. I don't know Matt Whitaker. Matt Whitaker, who, again, I didn't know, okay?
The president not being on the top of his game, repeating himself insistently and contradicting himself, that is of interest to us as Americans on a daily basis because he's the president, but it is perhaps of more interest to us right now because of what he's about to do. That's next.